Hey guys, this is Ty. I am starting a series. I am going to solve Leetcode until I'm actually good at Leetcode. Um, I am on Leetcode.io site. He's really good. I would suggest subscribing to him. I've done a bit of Leetcode in the past. Not enough to where I'd say I'm decent at it, but I have solved a bunch of problems already. Um, some of them by looking at the solutions, but we're going to start fresh today, and hopefully, by the end of this, we can get through all 150 questions and be a Leetcode pro. So we'll start with the first one: contains duplicate. And I'm just going to walk through my thought process. And yeah, this is more of a project for myself to look back on, see how good or bad I got it at Leetcode, but definitely could help someone out who's also trying to study for interviews and, wants more of the thought process that goes on in these interviews, because I'm going to try to speak a lot about the thought process. But anyway, let's get into it. We're doing it in Python for the whole thing. Let's see. Given an array integer, nums, return true if any value appears more than once in the array. Otherwise, return false. Okay, so this problem's pretty easy. There's multiple ways you can go about it. You can turn the array into a set. You can use the hash map and check if the number already appears in the array. I'm going to go the set route. So basically, I'm going to try to turn the nums array into a set and then just check if the lengths are the same. Length of nums. And then we can do the ternary. So it's going to be return true if, and then I have to actually be like that. Return true if the array does not contain duplicates. Else we'll return false. And then we'll run it. And then we'll submit it. Cool. That's problem one. Valid anagram. Given two strings, S and T, return true if the two strings are anagrams of each other, otherwise return false. An anagram is a string that contains the exact same characters as another string, but the order of the characters can be different. Check if they match and have the same number of characters. So I think the easiest way is to use a hash map. Leetcode usually calls his hash maps res. First thing I want to do is, if the length of S does not equal the length of T, then they're definitely not anagrams, so we can return false. Otherwise, we can loop through one, and I'm not going for the most optimal solutions for all these. I'm just trying to solve them. Later, as I get down, I'll try to see if I can figure out the most optimal solution, but I think for now, since these problems are so easy, we don't have to go crazy. Okay, so here is what I came up with. Syntax is very ugly. Once again, I'm trying to relearn. It's been a while. But basically what we have is what the thought is that we first check if the lengths do not match, because that would mean they're not anagrams. And then we're just going to append each character in each string to a dictionary. So So we do the S string first, and then we do the T string. And then at the end, we will loop through one of the maps, and if the value of one does not equal the value in another, then that would mean that they're not anagrams. Now, one problem I'm foreseeing is if the key does not belong in another, we may have problems there. So let's see. Res s let. Oh. Add some syntax problems. Okay. Boom. Yep. So I guess the easiest thing we can do is to just check if key is not in res t, or cool. So instead of, that case where edge case where one of the keys is not in one of the maps, we just check for the key first. And then let's submit. Cool. So you see I have an October 14th solution. This one is probably the best solution. Yeah, and this is what I wanted to do originally with the indexes. Because as you can see, it's so much cleaner. We don't have to do the separate logic in each for loops because the time complexity would be the same. This would be time complexity of n, right? Because we're looping through one string array and then two string arrays. So that's 2n. Constants don't matter. And then once again, res items will always be at biggest n, which is the length of the string. So this is the best solution, or the better solution here. Much more concise, but each one pretty much does the same thing. This one just loops less. So let's go to the next one, toSum. Given an array of integers and an integer target, return the indices I and j such that num sub I plus num sub j equal target, and I does not equal j. You may assume that every input has exactly one pair of indices I and j that satisfy the condition. Okay, so here's my thought process for the problem. So we have a integer array, and the target is going to be 7, right? So what I'm thinking is that we're going to loop through the array, and we are going to subtract our current number from the target, and we're going to add that new number from that we just calculated to the hash map, basically telling us if we find the number, which would be the key, then we would have both of our indices. So let's start with this example. So our first number is 3, right? So we will subtract 7 minus 3. Excuse me, I'm using a mouse. Which will give us 4. So now we have 4. We are going to add to our map res, and we're going to say the new key will be, or the new entry in the map will be 4, and the value will be the index when we calculated that, so 0. And so now what we can do is so our new number will be 4. So now what? Now we want to subtract 4 from the target. Target's always going to be the same. So we're going to do 7 minus 4. That's going to give us 3. So now we have 3. So now, before we add anything to the hash map, we're going to check if the current number we're looking for is already in the hash map. So is 4 already in res? Yes, it is. So that means we found the pair that we're looking for. So now we'll take the indice of 4, which is 1, and the indice of the 3 that we computed from minusing from 7, which is 0. So now we have 0 and 1. And that will be the answer. Okay, so same thing. We are going to loop over the nums array. So let's start with the first one, 4. We're going to subtract 4 from 10, and we're going to get 6. So now we're going to basically do the check if our number exists in the res, which it doesn't. So we're going to skip past that logic, and we're just going to immediately pass in the 6 into res and the indice from where we computed that. So it's going to be 6, 0, and then we move on to the next one, 5. We are going to now do 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. This 5 exists in the map. No, it doesn't. Okay, so now we're going to add this pair. So now we're going to say the number we're looking for is 5, and the indice we're at is 1. Okay, next one, number 6. 10 minus 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. Does 6 already exist? Yes, it does. Okay, so we found the number. I guess you can do the logic to check if it exists first, but doesn't really matter since we're just subtracting a number. But yeah, 6 already is in the map, so that would mean that we found our pair. Our pair would be the place where we need 6, which is indice 0, and where we're currently at, which is indice 2. So what would be the it's a 0, by the way. What would be the pair we need? It's 0 and 2. So let's go to our problem. Return the answer with the smaller index first. That's fine because we are looping through the array in order. Okay, so now we're going to get into the problem. I'm going to go line by line and basically show you the logic. So the first thing we want to do is make the map, and then we're going to loop through the array of nums, and then we're going to grab our subtraction result. So like we said, we're going to subtract 3 from 7 and get 4. We're going to check if 3 is already in the hash map, which is right here. If it is, then we'll return the indice of our pair and then the current indice. Otherwise, we're going to append to an array. Nothing's in the hash map right now, so we're just going to append to the hash map. Not append to the array. Okay, so 4. We're going to subtract 4 from 7. We're going to get 3. Is 4 already in res? Well, yeah, we just put 4 in res. So what we're going to do is we're going to return what we found 4, the indice, and then the current indice, or what we needed 4, sorry, which is indice 0, and then our current indice, which is 4, which is 1. Let's run it and submit, and boom. Group anagrams. Given an array of strings, group all anagrams together into sublists. You may return the output in any order. An anagram is a string that contains the exact same characters as another string, but the order of the characters can be different. Okay, so this question is pretty tricky, and I know the trick for it, but I forgot. So this is going to be basically like I'm starting with no knowledge. I have a feeling where I want to go, but let's think about it. Okay, this is our nums. Once again, we're going to have a res. We're going to have a hash map. Hash maps are very, very, very useful, very efficient in a lot of problems. So what my first thought is right now is, what if we take each word and we sort it? So we sort the characters in the word. So let's go with our act and cat scenario. If we sort the words in act and cat, ACT is already sorted. We turn cat into ACT as well. What if we store the sorted version as the key? And then our value will be the actual word. So let's run through each index and see if that works. So I'm just going to do this, without drawing it out. First word, act. We're going to sort the letters in act, and we're going to check if our key already exists in the res array. Right now there's nothing in res, so we're just going to append. We're going to say our key is going to be the sorted version of act, which is ACT. Luckily for us, act is already sorted. And then we are going to append to the list our current word, which is act. Boom. Next one, pots. We're going to say, we're going to sort pots. So OPST is OPST in our res. Nope. So we are going to OPST. No. And then we're going to put pots in to the array. Next, tops. Sort the letters. OPTS or OPST. Is OPST in our hash map ready? Yes, it is. So we're going to append to this key. Cat. Sort it. ACT. Is ACT in? Yes, it is. Let's append to this key. Cat. Stop. Is OPST already in? Yes, it is. We're going to append to this key. Stop. And then last one is hat. AHT. Is AHT in here? No, it is not. So let's append new key. Let's go hat, and boom, we are done with the array. Now what is the objective? What are we returning? Return the output in any order. Okay, so we're just returning all of the values from our hash map. So the result array would be a brand new array. That would be our output. Okay, so how do we code this? Well, let's follow the same rules. We're going to make our res, we're going to loop through the array, and we're going to sort the letters. First, make our res. That's going to be our hash map. We are going to loop through the strings. Let's go word in strings. And then let us sort the word. Okay, so I had to look up the syntax for sorting a string in Python. We'll call it sorted string. We'll go like this. We'll go dot join. And then we will go sorted s, and that is now our sorted string. So like we said, we're going to check if sorted string is in res. If it is, we're just going to append to res. We're going to go res subsorted string dot append and we're going to append our word. Very simple. Else, we're going to create a brand new key value pair, sorted string, gets an array with word. Okay, so now we are done with this. We can go through the logic one more time. So we're going to create our hash map. We're going to loop through the words. We're going to sort the word. We're going to check if the sorted word is already in our hash map. And then we're going to append the word, non-sorted word. Else, we're going to create a new entry with the sorted string and once again, add the word. To get the values, let's see, return res dot values. See if this works. Boom. S is not defined. That is what happens when you look at old work and notes. Okay. So this ran. If we submit it, successfully submitted. Let's see what our previous one was. Same exact thing. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Today we did 4 problems. Tomorrow I'm thinking we go through and finish the next 5. And then we just keep going. We have a lot to go through. So, I appreciate it if you watch this video. Leave a like, subscribe. Tell me how trash I am. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.